Your unnatural hair color violates our dress code. Fix it. Let me start off by saying that this did not happen to me, but rather to a cousin of mine who is 18 and a senior in high school. She told me the story and gave me permission to share it. So my cousin has a natural patch of white hair at the front of her otherwise dark head of hair. She's had this all her life and it's gotten bigger as she's gotten older. She used to get teased a lot for it at school, until bleaching, dyeing the hair at the front of your head a different color than the rest of your hair became a trend. And now she blends right in with other girls her age. I believe that this is the e-girl look. If you Google it you'll see which hairstyle I'm referring to. My cousin's hair looks similar to this, only she doesn't have to dye her hair to get the light streak. The school she currently attends has a very strict dress code that includes no hair that is dyed, unnatural colors, and extreme hairstyles, and frowns heavily on dyed hair in general. When in-person classes resumed at her school, one of my cousin's teachers took one look at her hair and sent her to the principal's office, insisting my cousin's unnatural, extreme hair was in violation of the dress code and too distracting. Despite the fact that she's never dyed, bleached any part of her hair in her life, my cousin insisted that this is the way her hair has always grown. But the principal was having none of it. She told my cousin, "When you come back tomorrow, I expect you to have dyed your hair back to its natural color. And don't dye it again. As long as you are at our school, you are to adhere to the dress code." My cousin smugly replied with, "Of course. I will comply with the dress code from now on." Quote. My cousin got some hair dye that was as close of a match to the hair on the rest of her head as possible, in order for it to blend in. She ended up dyeing all of her hair, not just the white streak. The next day when she walked in, the teacher complimented her on her natural hair and told her never to dye her hair again. Cue malicious compliance. As with anyone who dyes their hair, the roots eventually need to be touched up as the hair grows. But my cousin didn't bother with doing that. At first nobody, at least none of the teachers, staff, batted an eyelid. It wasn't until her hair had grown maybe an inch or so that her teacher suddenly looked at her and barked, "What did we tell you about your hair? No unnatural colors or extreme hairstyles. We told you to dye it back to its natural color and not dye it again. Go to the principal's office." Quote. My cousin did as she was told. The principal asked her why her hair looked the way it did. My cousin replied with, "Well, you told me to dye my hair back to its natural color and to never dye it again. So I did just that. I dyed my hair the color of the hair on most of my head to get rid of the white streak, which is how my hair naturally grows, and didn't dye it again. So now the roots are showing. I did exactly what you told me to do." Quote. The principal called her parents and told them to come pick their daughter up, explaining that due to her multiple violations of the school's dress code, she would be suspended. So they came to the school and brought the family photo album with them, which had pictures of my cousin at various stages of her life, all with the white patch in her hair. In addition, her father also has a white patch of hair on the front of his otherwise dark head of hair. It runs on his side of his family. I believe the medical term for it is pileiosis. So the principal reluctantly didn't end up suspending my cousin, but she did give her a warning that your extreme hair is still a distraction to the other students, and they are going to wonder why you're getting special treatment. Consider yourself lucky. Quote. So my cousin wasn't suspended and didn't get any more harassment from the school staff. Gradually her hair returned to its natural, extreme color. She still continues to occasionally get disapproving looks from the school staff, But none of her classmates feel like she's getting special treatment, and think it's cool that her hair naturally grows that way. My cousin says that she will not be returning to that school next semester and will be homeschooled instead. I was expecting her to dye the rest of her hair to match the white color. Since they didn't specify which of her natural hair colors to dye it back to, she'd be in compliance. I've got a white patch like that. I'm surprised the white held the dark hair dye. But she did give her a warning that your extreme hair is still a distraction to the other students, and they are going to wonder why you're getting special treatment. Consider yourself lucky. Quote, "Not sure, but this parting comment seems to violate some law involving harassment. That's a pretty fucked up school. I thought they were meant to teach stuff like acceptance of others and inclusivity. Kid's got a visible genetic condition and is castigated for it. This has got to be breaking laws. Sue the shit out of that school." My kid's school has the same text in the dress code. My daughter, half Latin, has very black hair. Me being a pretty open-minded dad who enjoys stirring trouble, let her split dye. Half white. First day of this school year. Call from principal. I show up. Dress code says colors naturally occurring to humans. What's the problem? Her hair isn't natural. Principal very obviously uses dye to cover gray. Neither is yours. But the code says naturally occurring. Black and white are both natural. You have several staff here with both, and several shades of gray in between. Principal is angry, but can't retort. They should have given a groveling apology to your cousin and her parents for wasting their time and harassing them over something so stupid. So the school wanted to suspend your cousin for a medical condition? They're just begging for a lawsuit, aren't they? I immediately think of Rogue from X-Men. All that needs be said is, "This is a medical condition. I have documentation. Please, for the sake of my college fund, put down that you're suspending me for it." Ever wonder why schools get sued by the ACLU? Yeah, this garbage. This is what happens when you put Karen or Kyle in charge. What on earth is this kid doing that harms anyone? Honestly, whoever confronted this child needs to be banned from having contact with children ever again. Did they just not find any job listing online for petite dictators, and felt teaching was the next best thing? That is nothing. Britain has the highest percentage of redheads, and you will still get teachers who try to punish redheads for violating the dress code because of their natural hair color. She might want to lawyer up. That's potentially an ADA violation in the US and a human rights violation in most Commonwealth and EU countries. Pilaiosis is a symptom of several generic syndromes. Forcing her to comply with a rule that targets her due to a medical condition is likely actionable. But I'm not a lawyer. So she wasn't at this school before COVID and no one cared about her hair via Zoom? It seems a shame to spend the last semester of senior year homeschool. Her parents should have demanded an apology from the principal and teacher. And I thought my high school was fucked up. Hairstyles should not be a punishable offense. People, even students, have lives outside of school, and insisting on dictating things of this nature only reinforces negative biases to that end. When my Japanese friend told me she has dyed and straightened her hair her entire life, I was shocked. Japanese have straight black hair, right? Lols. No, they don't. Some have black straight hair, but some have brown hair and even curly hair. She schooled me. I had no idea. Apparently, everyone used to have to dye and straighten their hair because anything else was socially unacceptable. Now I see grandmas with pink hair. No big deal. But that's the benefit of age. Schools are slowly changing though. Kicking and screaming. But they're changing. Hope America pulls the stick out too. Consider yourself lucky. Quote, "That fucking sanctimonious prick. I would have pushed back on the hair thing as far as legally possible and made certain that principal regretted ever having a dress code. Perhaps raise an ADA discrimination lawsuit. I'm sorry your cousin was treated so horribly that she won't be going back. There's no excuse for that. I started getting white hairs when I was 16. And if I didn't dye my hair, I would have the exact same hair as your cousin. As most of my front hair is white. White hair should be accepted as a natural hair color, as there are lots of genetic variations that can cause it. And it's not just a part of aging. I would definitely see if you can pursue discrimination against the school." Pileiosis is the name of the appearance of the patch itself. Pileiosis is often seen in combination with other genetic variations such as Waardenburg syndrome. A boy in my high school had the patch and he explained it as, "It's a birthmark," and everyone was like, "Well, okay then," and that was that. Fun fact: the hair trend you are referring to is the dyeing or coloring of the money pieces. Face framing sections of hair. You know, if I was distracted by one person having a different color patch of hair for an entire school year, maybe I shouldn't be going to school at all. Appearance and dress code rules with justification of not distracting other students are routinely used to justify discrimination on the basis of gender, ethnicity, body type, and so on. Schools can either revise their handbooks to be non-discriminatory now, or they can do so after losing a lawsuit.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.